Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone is keeping well. Welcome back again to another live show on the channel. We are discussing tonight none other than Richard Masters and his cartel and why it's time they get out the Premier League now. We will have Martin and from the Mancunian way joining us as well, because it'd be great to get his thoughts again, particularly after his rant on Friday's show. And we're going to have Jason as well. And we'll get him in when they are ready. But we've got Tony today, and we've got Mr. Sinclair. How are you doing, guys?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
I hope you're well, my guy, and it's good to have us back on. And I've got some big things coming up in the future, so keep your eyes peeled, people. But
yeah. And we haven't got Mason tonight because he is at the Gates game tonight, which I believe is 1-1 in that game already.
Wow.
Just to say, Pete, I've just dropped in your chat there. I know you wouldn't mind anyway. Just dropped in about my second channel. I don't know if you want me to give everybody an explanation why I've made a second channel. So, guys, there's a channel just gone in the chat there that I've put in there, the footy channel. Basically, that is a second channel I've now set up. So, basically, it's all black and white TV. It'll still be the main channel for everything Newcastle United. But the footy channel is an alternative channel. So basically what that is, when Newcastle don't play on a weekend or they don't play on a Saturday and they play on a Sunday, I may go off to watch, say, maybe a League 2 game or take in a non-league game. And what I'll do is I'll do vlogs and things like that, and I'll put them in that channel, the footy channel. So I'll keep it off the Newcastle channel because my channel's mainly Newcastle. But as I say, when Newcastle I'm playing, I'll pop off to a different game, maybe a League 2, League 1, or a non-league game. So I'll put that into the footy channel. And also any previews for like England games and that will also be live on the footy channel. So if you want to give that a subscribe, you're more than welcome to as well. Thank you very much, guys, for all your
Hey, Martin, see how you doing, Martin?
Yeah. Busy.
Yes, Martin.
I'm only here till 9, so I do apologise.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
No, that's fine.
There's a big stream at 9 o'clock we're all doing, so.
Oh, nice one. So that's fine now, Martin, if you just here for a short while, but that's totally fine. Before we get into it, guys, if you do enjoy tonight's show, please do remember to give us the thumbs up. It's really important we do get the likes so people know where to find us in the YouTube search results. So please do remember to smash the likes. Please, of course, if you're brand new to the channel, if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy what goes on the channel week in, week out, hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so, and it does help make the channel grow. And, of course, please do hit the notification bell. That just let you know whenever your live show is taking place or a pre-recorded video has been uploaded. So make sure you do hit that bell notification to make sure you do not miss anything coming out on the channel week in, week out. If you'd like to give a donation to the channel either through Super Chat or a Super Thanks when the show's finished, feel free to do so. If you want to become a member, it's 99p. Hit the join button. And, of course, if you are a member, you are putting the prize draws we do on the channel as well. And, of course, Tony and John are sharing this on both of their channels as well. It's all black and white TV and John Sinclair TV, so do go and drop them and subscribe as well. If you will, I'm sure they would appreciate. We'll just nip into some comments quickly. Good evening, John. Hope you're well. Good evening, Paige.
Big up.
Good evening, Joe. Hope you're well. Good evening, Tom. Good evening. Just a lot of people saying hello to each other. Tom with a perfect one there. Those cheating Reds. Absolutely, Tom. Well, that'll be discussed as well. Masters is just hanging on for his last envelopes. Masters is cooked. Yeah, I think the Premier League will be a better place without Masters and his cartel, says Paige. Good evening, Julie. Hope you're well as well again. And I think that's probably Beer who's done that. You absolute idiot twat. Bye-bye, Tricky Dicky. Jesus, Tom. Good grief.
Has to go.
Yes, absolutely. So good evening, Andrew. Hope you're well as well. At least with PG, he loves Newcastle, and we may get a bad guitar song at halftime. And that's a link to Tony's channel. Good evening, Pete. Hope you're well. Again, just a lot of people just saying hello to each other. Good evening, Ian. Hope you're well. Where's Mason? He's at watching Gator tonight. Martin's rants was classed. I'm sure you might have another one up his sleeve tonight. Good evening, Martin as well, and the only one, Johnny and Tony. Martin's right.
Big up, Martin.
I hope you're keeping well. Beers in the chat as well. Disappoint you're not doing the Scotland watch along, Pete. Again, people just say Martin's get a lot of hellos there. Gates are not playing Hednesford, the pitmen I used to play for them. Had a shit day. I had guests in my Airbnb and trashed the place. Also stole a Netgear rooted hair kettle, 8 pillows, and all the Ben replacement cost £700 as well. Pissed off. Jesus wept. And of course, Martin just saying hello to everyone from his channel as well. And again, people just saying hello to. Look at Mason is in the chat already. There's a talk again of the Super League. God, I hope not.
I hope not.
So. Masters can't quit now. He can't hand this complete mess over to a new CEO. Says Bia. Yeah, if there was a stop, the difference photo between Master Seb Blatter, Boris Johnson, and Major Quimby from The Simpsons, the answers would be no difference. All corrupt liars. There you are. Again, people again just saying hello to each other as well. Shocking what the Rats done to Ferguson too after all they did for him. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. They have.
Okay, absolutely shocking that.
All settle down. No, move into my new flat. Well, a nice one, Lee. Hope it's all going well for you.
Ain't shocking at all. Deserves it.
Oh. Anyways, let's get into it. We'll start with Martin again. I mean, you are just completely fed up with this absolute Premier League and who's running it, Masters and his beloved puppets. And again, particularly when you've won that case, and Man City have won it, Martin. You can't say that they haven't lost it, because particularly when he tried to do a U-turn after that.
Bored of it, you get used to it after 15 years. After 15 years of hate, you get kind of used to it. Remember, I said when I very first come on your show, Pete, you had no idea what was coming down your road.
Exactly.
No idea. I said, buckle up, get ready, and enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a ride.
Yeah.
And trust me, we've had a ride. I said the other day, Masters going ain't good enough because it ain't nothing to do with Masters. Masters is a puppet for everyone else. People need to realise the Premier League is a 20-team private members club. Same way you have a golf club. You have a chairman, you have a captain, you have a vice chairman, a treasurer. That's what the Premier League board is. And the members are the 20 clubs. So all this, listen, Masters going makes no head no difference. For me, doesn't matter. They could put Bill and Ben in charge. Problem is, all the clubs will come up with the votes. And as Pep Guardiola once said, they will vote for what suits them.
Yep.
We are now in a situation with the Premier League where, and I've said this for 2 weeks now, I don't know where we go anymore. There is no resolution into this, because you've now got 10 American owners, which are doing the American model, which is totally fine, which is why under Kroenke, etc., they're happy with 4th place, because they're happy with the shit ton of money coming in their back door, and they're happy with it. 4th place to them is a dream. It's bankrolling. They take it out the other side. Same with the Glazers. Said this the other day. For some weird reason, United got sold this dream of 27% by Ineos, made them the owners of United. Yeah, some need to go back to business school and understand what owning a business actually means. Because the last time I checked, 27% doesn't mean you can own a business unless you are the majority shareholder, which means you've got a lot of smaller businesses going on. Glazers own 60%. So what we'll do is we'll take the heat off. We'll give it all to Ineos. Ineos are now getting the flak over Ten Hag. We're down to do that while the Glazers keep taking money out of the back pocket. You saw FSG. We're only willing to sell 30% of our club. No shit, Sherlock, because you're not giving up your other 70%. Because this has all come for one reason for me. You have Gulf owners who are in this to make money. Every owner is in to make money. They're not, trillionaires, billionaires, because they don't want to make money. They do want to make money. Problem is here, we're now in a situation where nobody's going to be happy with any rules. The Premier League has split it off into 2 camps. The Gulf investment camp, so your Villas, your Evertons, Chelsea's even, which I've said to people forever, PIF. I've been putting PIF or 2 brothers from PIF connections, putting money into Chelsea, and I've done for a very long time. But it's been sold as an American dream at Chelsea because no one really wanted to look into the deep ends of that deal. No one really wanted to look at it and who actually was putting the money in from where from. So we've all got the Gulf sides, Villa, Egyptian billionaire, the lot. Then you got the American owners and a couple of English owners that have come in. That's fine. My issue is, you look when this started. Look when the coils really got going. When you got taken over, it was roughly about the same time as the Super League fiasco.
Yep. Totally.
Because I was very naive at this, and then I really did proper research and looked into it. Did we really think 2,000 fans with blankets with felt tips written on them stop billionaires going ahead with it?
Exactly, Martin.
What this is splintering to a point. They're trying to make the Premier League so untenable now.
Yep.
That a Super League becomes the saving grace. See, because I'm 42, I'm old enough. Go back to 1992 to when the Premier League began. Exact same argument back then. Exact same argument was all about the money, and they weren't getting the money that they went off. 1992, United went on the stock exchange. Why? This is what it was all about in 1992 before we started the Premier League. It's took 32, 33 years, but we're right back to where we were 33 years ago now. And I'm telling you now, yesterday, the leak started coming out that Super League is still on the table in 2025. Never went off the table. We just all got led down the garden path to think it was. We've now all had a splinter cell in the Premier League, and they can't do this meeting on Thursday because they know what's coming.
Yep.
They know exactly what's coming down the road. You've got EFL clubs, for some weird reason, can't be involved in this. So 3 promoted teams in May can't have a say on rules that they have to follow come May. Well, that's balmy. 3 teams are going to vote on a rule that they may not even be involved in because they'll be relegated down to the EFL. So what are we doing here? Are we making this as we go along? I'm starting to think this is carry-on football. Don't know what's going on with them anymore. And everyone's going masters. It's not masters. When you've got disgusting people like the Arsenal chief exec turning around about oil money and how Gulf investment is evil. Sorry, hello, where's your money from?
Exactly.
And I know for a fact, I got told this, Emirates are not very happy with them at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Don't think they'll pull out. They've got a deal till 2026, 2028, but they're asking for answers. Because what they don't realise is the Gulf state is generally all owned together. They're all married and intertwined. They're all family owned. One of the women who runs Emirates is the daughter-in-law to Sheikh Mansour. And this is what they don't realise. There's a lot of issues going on right now that people need to be very careful of. The UK takes a lot of money from the Gulf region. There's a lot of business with it.
Yep.
You cannot go to someone of Arab descent, Gulf descent, and accuse them of what you have done and live to tell the tale. These are billionaires. And what's happened in football is 20 years ago, we were dealing with Jack Walker and, Sir John Hall, as you know, and everything else. We were dealing with millionaires. That's out the window now. The local businessman's gone.
It has.
We're now dealing with foreign billionaires to trillionaires. People don't know this. I know people go on. I had an argument, debate with a Newcastle fan once about Newcastle being the richest club. And I went, depends how you word it. Look at Sheikh Mansour's royal family money.
Yeah.
He's a trillionaire. But we just say Sheikh Mansour. Whereas you say PIF. That's where the difference becomes.
It is, yeah.
They're both trillionaires when they put the monies down.
Yes.
They both are. And the problem is, I don't see anywhere this league goes now without City and Newcastle dominating it for 20 years. And that's why, to be honest with you, I will be shell-shocked if the Premier League is aired in 3 years. Shell-shocked. I don't think it will be. I think we will be going to a Super League. I think it's been masterfully done. I think it's been corrupted to make it look so untenable. And sadly, that's where we're going to end up.
Martin, do you think you should mention that the Super League, right? I mean, personally, we don't want a Super League, but it's going to happen. I'm afraid the way it's going. Yeah, fair enough. No, it's just, this is sad, but if it comes, it's what it is. But if it's going to be a Super League, do you think Newcastle will be in the Super League?
Yeah, don't see why not. I think it's going to get to a stage. The thing is, I had this dream of Manchester City once of we were going to stay this local community club and we won't have all these fans and we're still going to be charged £10 a ticket. And yeah, I had a mate who was a very good mate. He was a Newcastle fan, and he said to me once, he said, "What's it like?" I went, "You got two choices: get off the train now and remember the club as you are, or get on the train and enjoy the ride. You are going to get charged £70 a ticket. You are going to get more corporate. You are going to get more fans from abroad, and they will stop caring about the local community. That's what they will do. Because you cannot stay small and go big. You go big or you go big. That's the way it's got to be with this. And I know that's harsh. And people, listen, I've had this debate with so many even City fans talking about, oh, well, you know, why don't they do a £5 for a kid? Because they don't give a damn about the kids. They'd rather sell that on and make £100 on a ticket. But this is what the Super League's all been about. They got offered a barrel load of money. Their eyes all lit up. And because honestly, at the end of it, John, you give up your season ticket. They will replace that for that your season ticket will go off and they'll charge your ticket per game £100.
Yeah,
they'll sell it. And they make 10 times more than what you make on your season ticket.
Martin, just quickly.
City do it already. Any season tickets that are given up at City don't go back in the season ticket pot. They go on to general sale.
Fact is, though, right? I mean, just quickly, right, just off the scale. I'm going to Madrid next week, right? Between Atletico Madrid against Lille in the Champions League, right? Guess how much the ticket cost me? Pete and Tony know how much I pay for that ticket, right? If you go to Aston Villa, it's over £100, right? I bought this ticket. This is between Atletico Madrid and Lille, £36. And I paid that back 3 weeks ago.
That'll change though. Now they've got their investment though. That'll change. Now they've got Riyadh Airlines involved.
Yeah, they have got that on board now, haven't they?
They have now.
Which Senor Tebas is a bit of an hypocrite because he slagged City off for 10 years. But then sat there shaking hands with the owner of Riyadh Airlines going, isn't it great? Yeah, because it's in your league. That's why it's great. People got to realise the days of Barcelona, Real Madrid, United, Liverpool, Arsenal is gone. This is not 1995 anymore.
No.
This is 2024.
I tell you what, though, it's good. Like you just said there, Martin, I think you made a bloody good point there for me, right? I mean, my season ticket's going to be worth £100, right? The people still, the thing is though, people, especially up Newcastle, Pete, Tony, they're still going to pay for that because they want to go. They will pay £100. They're happy to pay that. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm going next year, right? I won't disclose it yet, but I will do in the future. But I tell you what, guys, right? I think that the Premier League is all going to be, it's all about money. We all know that, right? They don't care for the kids. They don't care. They just want to get their money. It's going through corporates. And like Martin said, the young'uns, the future, the kids of the future are going to be swept under the carpet. I'm sorry.
Tottenham, I don't even know this, Tottenham are getting rid of their senior citizen ticket price.
Ridiculous.
You think that we're all going to build these 70, 80,000 seater stadiums and have NFL in it and all that and concerts and they want Jack there? Because the problem is, think about it. A local guy goes to a stadium. He's paid for his ticket in advance. He buys one drink, maybe a pie, goes home. They don't want that. They want someone who's coming in a club shop, spending £400, £100 on food, and hotel. Like, why City building a 5-star hotel? Yesterday there was, I don't know if anyone watches WWE, so I'm at WrestleMania coming into the Etihad.
Oh wow!
Do you know what I mean? This is where we're at with football now.
Yeah.
Football grounds are going to be used for NFL, WrestleManias, Taylor Swift concerts. It's where we're at. It's where we're at now. You know, this isn't just football, by the way. Oasis tickets, £300 a go. On the going up. Taylor Swift, £500. This is where we're at in the world.
We are.
They don't care about fans. They just don't anymore. And this is what all this aggro's been about. I got told once from someone who I know at City or told me close to the club was City don't make enough match day revenue compared to the big teams, United, Arsenal. And it pissed them off, annoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, isn't it? And I'll tell you one thing now. I mean, people will pay it. People will still pay it. And you talk about the cost of living, right? Cost of living in this country. I don't want anyone coming up with us and say about cost of living again, because cost of living is a myth. We know how expensive it is.
Me too.
Sorry, guys.
I mean,
I know that's hard to hear, and I know it upsets people. I know, but that's the cold hard reality of it. And sadly, and I did it 12 months ago. I was very much, shame on my club. This, and then I woke up and I realised, I went, this is all a game. This is a game.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
We're all the puppets that are playing along.
Absolutely, Tony. Tony, you still there? He must be there. I think he must have got off to get a drink or something. But yeah, it's just. I mean, you said on the show, my show as well, Mon, you've lost respect for certain clubs. Brighton, West Ham. There was two of them.
I've had people, West Ham fans say, 'cause there was this thing of Westchester City, where City and West Ham were the fan base was very good together, very cliquey, looked after each other, wished each other the best. And then I had a lot of, no, it's our owners, don't have a go at us, it's our owners, still. And it's like Tony Bloom and Brighton. You think Tony Bloom was a really clever businessman, and then you realise how many shareholders' loans have taken out. Arsenal, £200 million shareholders' loans. Everton, which, I like Everton. Everton were one of the first teams to apologise to Manchester City in all this. £420 million worth of shareholders' loans. And it's quite scary to think, and what worries me, should I say, not bothers me, worries me more if we found these, and I believe we have, found these rules to be illegal. These rules were put in 2021. I know they're updated in 2024, but they were done in 2021. How many teams have got a lawsuit back from 3 years ago on this?
Mm-hmm.
You could have 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. I've been told there's teams ready to go with legal cases against the Premier League. Big legal cases.
Absolutely.
City are not the only one. City have just been the first one. And the ironic thing isn't it? If they hadn't have done the 115 stuff, this probably would never have happened.
No,
because it was prepping for the 115 stuff that made Lord Panic go, yeah, that's not right. That's not legal, and that's not right. Okay, we're going back to them now.
Yep.
So you got to be careful what you wish for. You're not dealing with Kinder Egg lawyers here. You're dealing with Lord Panic, King's Counsel, who won for Boris Johnson in the pandemic case with the UK government. We can't have people said about independent regulator. You've got to be careful on that because UEFA outlawed that last year, or again over the Super League.
Mm-hmm.
Because UEFA came out and said politics and football can't mix.
No, they can't at all. That's
now legally written into the rules. And that's come from the UK government. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know where we go with it. I've sat for 2 weeks and looked at every avenue. And I said, unless somebody gives a little bit, we're going nowhere. Somebody's got to give in.
Yes.
And at the minute, I don't think anyone's going to give in.
It's all a mess right now. It's just, I mean, John, it's an absolute pigsty.
I think I'll have to agree with what everything you say. I think he's pretty much covered it. Do you know what I mean? But I think this Premier League is absolutely tapped. It really, really is tapped. And if they've been as governor regular later in, right? What's that going to do? What's that going to improve? And good point by Beer Viking. I think Richard Masters, for me, in my opinion, I think he should walk away.
All they'll do, John, is put someone else. They'll put another puppet back in.
I'm just going to, I know I've missed a lot of comments, but I'm going to put this one from Tom in regards to us. Annoyed we've had to sell Minty to Brighton for PSR, and now we find out they've benefited from these shareholder loans.
Look at Arsenal, Brighton has got shareholder loans as well. Apparently, last week, I don't know if you saw it, Pete Martin, if they could be the spot of bother of those kind of loans to the PSR.
Yeah, they won't. Promise you now they won't. They'll never get in trouble. Do you ever see Barcelona getting in trouble?
No,
Absolutely.
Never, because they get away with it every single time. They have
Barcelona are selling the turf. Barcelona are selling the turf. They're signing players that they can't even register. They bought Danny Olmo and sat him down for 2 weeks because they couldn't register him. We wouldn't be allowed to do that.
No.
Certain this is, people say to me, this is a football problem. Football is a mess right now. It's a mess, top to bottom. And I don't know. I like I said, I don't think Masters going helps anything unless you get somebody in. But again, they don't run the league. Clubs do. Clubs vote the rules in.
And again, Martin, Man United, a team that feel PSR, get away with it.
Yeah. Well, what do you do? It's United.
Yeah, because they don't want to see. Oh, it's like, but we can't see Man United being punished and all that. But we'll go and charge. Other clubs like Everton and Forest. We'll take points off them. It's just I'm going to have to try and get through a lot of these comments.
Sorry, man. I've got to go in 2 minutes, so I apologise for ranting.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I think it's been brilliant again, Martin.
Next time you do something, I'll come on properly and stay for the full show, I promise you.
No, that's absolutely fine, Martin. Totally is.
I just, like I said, I wish I had an answer. I've begged people. I've done Spacey shows and I've said, someone give me an answer. No one can. Because here's the thing, people are going, if this case was so right forward, City would be getting things, Newcastle would be getting deals. I know you've got deals ready to go. Seller, Amrico, you've got all these deals ready to roll. Why have you not taken them up?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's something going on right now and we're not being privy to it all. Do you know what it is to me? I don't like to think people are racist or xenophobic or anything else. I think there's a massive, but worse, xenophobic situation within this Premier League right now. I think it's an American versus Gulf State situation. On the other side, and the thing that worries me the most is fans are just going to lose in this. Because what it's taught me is lately, especially, is clubs don't care about fans.
Some of them
they will tell you they do till they're blue in the face. But always remember, you can be replaced so easily. So easily.
I agree. 100%, man.
Again, I kind of disagree there, Martin, at all. I really can't.
I wish it was different. I was one of them. City will never be United. We'll never be United. We'll never act like them. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
We're not building a 5-star hotel for me who lives 5 minutes up the road.
Mm-hmm.
They're not putting me in the 5-star hotel.
I've got another question for you. I know you've got to wrap up, Martin. Yeah, but I tell you what, if it's going to be 100 quid a ticket for the Premier League in the future, you reckon it's going to be? I wonder how much it's going to be for the Champions League ticket, Champions League final ticket.
I'll tell you. You want to know?
Go on.
The category 1 to go near the front was £570. The second category down was 380. Third category down, the cheapest ticket in the building was 70 quid, and that was right at the back, up in the gods. Can't see anything.
That is crazy. They know how to make the money. They know how to make the money. Football's huge business. They need to keep the real fans in. But
for me to go and watch Real Madrid in the semi-final 2 years ago was about 80 quid a ticket.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
Crazy.
It is what it is. I wish you all the best. I promise you I'll come back on, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, Martin.
everything else, but anything I'll come back on.
Yep. Check Martin's channel out, the Mancunian way. He's going to do a live show. So if you want
No,
to
I'm on a different one. I'm on a Footy Judge Mo one.
All right.
There's about
no
10
worries.
City fans going on. We're going on.
Interesting. But please do check Martin's channel out, the Mancunian way. He does some cracking
care,
stuff
Rob.
from there. A lot of
You take care, Martin.
Hey, Martin, take care.
Bless up,
See you
bless
later,
up, Martin. Bless up. Let me tell you something, right? This guy is absolutely football. He speaks sense, right?
He does.
There's a lot of taking, right? There's things he said, which I think he's right. I think people now have to realise that football will be £100 a ticket, right? And I guarantee you one thing, people will go. People will go because the fact of the matter is, we love our football.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like I said earlier, you go to Aston Villa for a Champions League game, it's £97 a ticket, right? And I'll go into Let's Go Madrid next week against Lille, £36. I put about 3-4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Totally, absolutely, John. Well, what your thoughts on all of this, Tony? I mean, it's just...
Well, I said a lot on Saturday, if anybody's seen my video, which
yes,
I would imagine
that was another great one as well.
I mean, look. Okay, yeah, Masters is there. He's the puppet. We know he is the puppet. But the thing is, there has to be... we should be doing what you do in other associations where you have a vote to bring somebody in.
Yeah.
You know, and you should vote for a CEO to come in, not... You have a list of you might have 2 or 3 that are coming in and you think, right, okay, which one do you prefer? They all give their pitch and then you go off that. So maybe that should happen. But look, the thing is, right, and what I said is, right, now, even after I did that video Saturday, and I know for a fact there are probably fans of other clubs watching this right now. Mm-hmm. And I don't care. I really don't care, because I'm now going to tell you that Man U, I hate them more than I ever did hate them. I hate them even more now. I hate Liverpool even more now. I hate Arsenal even more now. I mean, look, you know, I hate Brighton more than I've ever hated Brighton. The same with West Ham, the same with Fulham, the same with Brentford. They're all tossers. Now, I don't care if Man U fans come on and give me stick, because their club is a shithole of a club. Let's be honest. They've got rid of a legend out of that club. Mm-hmm. That club is being ran by a man who is just another Mike Ashley. Let's be honest. Man United, your club's in decline. You're going down the wrong end of the table. As I said last week, if Man United get relegated this season, I'm going to throw a live show and we'll all have a party. We'll all have the beer going. We'll have the music going and everything. We'll have a bloody good party called the Man United relegation party, because I'm sure we'll all bloody celebrate. Because I'd love to see them go down. Now then, as I say, I hate these clubs even more now. It's about bloody time we made a stand against these clubs. And what I said on Saturday was, when the likes of Brighton are coming, because they're the first team to come on Saturday, we have to make that hostile for them. And what I mean by hostile, every time they touch that ball, you boo, you whistle, like they do abroad, like they do in Turkey when they have the Fenerbahce Galatasaray match. Mm-hmm. As soon as the opposition touch the ball, there's that intimidating atmosphere. That's what we got to do at these clubs who voted against us. These clubs, likes of Man United, Arsenal, you know, Tottenham, Fulham, Brentford, West Ham, Brighton, make it intimidating for these teams. Don't give them an inch. Because I'm telling you now, there'll be some young players on that Brighton team will not be used to a hostile atmosphere like that. They'll be dying to get off the pitch after 90 minutes. They'll be dying to get down that tunnel, because they'll have hated that so much. And I think that's what we have to do. But not only do that, though, when the Premier League anthem is played, boo the Premier League anthem as well. Boo it. Don't sit there, listen to it. boo right through it. You know, the Scousers do it, Liverpool do it when they play the national anthem, and I think that's disgusting for the national anthem. I'm sorry, and you know, I always say that. I think for the national anthem, you don't boo your own national anthem, but the Premier League anthem, that's just a piece of music. But boo it to say how much we disapprove against the Premier League. It's been proven they've stopped our growth over the last 3 years.
Yep.
Now, the minute those Sports Direct signs come down,
yes, Leicester City,
that's when things started even quickening up. That's when things were quickening up. And it's a shame. It's a shame we don't see who is that CEO who has sent that letter out. I've got a feeling it's Leicester City, right? But at the end of the day, as I say, these teams, as fans, we need to make it hostile for them. But will our fans do it? That is the difference. Will they? You know? Are we too British to do something like that? Are we just too kind to do something like that? We shouldn't be. I'm sorry. You know? We should be. We should be having to go at these teams because at the end of the day, our growth has been stopped. If the thing is, if we had been able to have the sponsorships we've had in by now, Minty wouldn't have been sold. Ellie Anderson wouldn't have been sold. No. PSR issues wouldn't have been a problem.
Definitely
this is the problem because they have held us back from getting sponsorships. And it's got to go down to the fact, that it's supposed to be fair market value.
That.
Now it's like, say, for instance, say Aldi, right? Now, say they decide, I tell you what, we're going to build 20 stores. But 10 of those stores will be in amongst Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's. Now, it's like Tesco's, Sainsbury's and Morrison's being a cartel and saying, hang on a minute, no. This is a closed circuit. You can't build an Aldi here. You can't build an Aldi across there. Do you think that would stand up in a court of law? Absolutely not.
No, it wouldn't.
Because that would be anti-competitive. And that is exactly what the Premier League is, anti-competitive. And I hope, and I said this the other day, I hope our owners are suing the pants off this lot. I hope they are. I hope they're suing the pants off this lot for the last 3 years for what we've had to do. And the thing is, PSR was never brought in to sell your academy players. And that is exactly what we are doing. Even Gary Neville said it back in September, the day we beat Spurs. He said, why are teams like Newcastle having a thumb put on top of them for? Why can't they go out and spend the money that they have got? And he's absolutely right, Gary Neville. Let's be honest. Sometimes you don't agree with a lot of things he says, but with what Gary Neville's saying, he's absolutely spot on. Why are we being held back as a club? Why can't we spend money?
Exactly.
And that is his question. And that is a very good question from Gary Neville. And, as I say, a lot of people don't agree with him. But what I've said is, I would like our owners to go out and bring these massive sponsors in now, because technically, them rules aren't lawful. There's no such thing as a fair market value rule now. We can go out now and say, right, I'll tell you what, let's get, say, Aramco in. Oh, do you want to sponsor the stadium? Yeah. £80 million a season? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Take advantage. Training ground sponsor. Who's going to come in? Say Saudi Airlines. Say, we'll come and sponsor your training ground. We'll give you 50 million a year. Absolutely. Why not? It's time to cash in. It's time to get up there. But I don't think our owners are going to do that. I think they're going to do it sensibly. But maybe they're taking action as well. And a lot of people I've seen also said that, why aren't our owners challenging these rules? And I've seen this quite a lot happen over the last few months, but now it's come to fruition. The reason why they haven't challenged is because they've been acted as a witness for Manchester City. So obviously they're not going to challenge the rules when they're a witness for City. Now, Everton, Forest joined in as a witness because they're sick of the Premier League getting points deductions. Forest got a points deduction for bringing too many players in, but they had to. They had no choice that season.
I had no choice because I wanted to stay up.
Because I spoke to a Forest fan, and he told me, he said the reason why Forest got why they got done for PSR was because Brennan Johnson left the club 2 weeks late. If he'd left the club 2 weeks before, there was no issues.
Yep.
And that's you know, it's just, it stinks of corruption. And like I've said, when we had to sell Elliot Anderson and Yankubo Minteh, that helped our PSR. And wasn't it funny though, how the day after the PSR deadline, Man United decided, let's pay the compensation for Ashworth.
So
why did they do that? Because they were waiting to see if we failed PSR so that they could see us getting a points deduction.
Yep.
And Ratface did not like it that we got away with it because we had to sell 2 players. And then the Premier League have got a cheek to then start on teams like us, Villa, Chelsea, and Forest. Why are you selling players at inflated prices? Like Villa sold a youngster who was only worth about £800,000 to Chelsea for 20 million because they had to get around the PSR. But then Chelsea let them have players as well. So like we got Vlachodimos for 20 million.
Yep.
But technically, you know, it was to get around PSR.
It was.
We sold Anderson for 35 million. They sold him for 20 million. So technically, Anderson cost 15 million. But look, we had to get round the PSR issues. But this is where the Premier League is so corrupt.
It is.
And the likes of Liverpool, Man United and all them, need to be brought down to earth with a bang.
They do.
And it's about time they were brought down with a bang. Because the problem is, as soon as our takeover come through, that sent shockwaves through the Premier League.
It did.
And they knew that us and City would be the top 2 teams in the Premier League, and the rest of the teams would be fighting for 3rd and 4th place. I'm not being funny when I say that, but that's the thing, right? And the way I look at this is, as I say, these rules were brought in to stop our growth, and that's exactly what they've done. They stopped our growth. And I think for the last 3 years, our owners need to sue the Premier League for what they can in loss of earnings, because we've lost a lot of money. And I read an article a couple of months ago, might have been during pre-season actually, that Seller actually wanted to pay more than the £25 million a season shirt sponsorship. But obviously, Yasser Al-Rumayyan says you can't because we're bound by fair market value. Well, we're not anymore. So if Seller want to come in and say, give you 50 million quid a season, take it. If none say, we don't want to pay 7.5 million, we want to pay 20 million for the sleeve badge.
Do it.
Do it. Take it.
There you are.
Take it.
That's
Take it all day long. So it'll be interesting to see if we get any sponsorship in. But if we got some big sponsors in, can you imagine how much that boosts our FFP as well?
A lot. A massive lot.
A lot of money.
Sorry about the rant, guys.
What the hell happened to football since the good old days when I used to watch the matches with my dad? It's, exactly. Jilly. Brickut's the new assistant at Gates. Yes, Gates have got a new manager in charge. We all heard what Radcliffe said in this interview. I can't stand that man. I really, really can't. All right, wondered who they were getting. Hopefully they get to playoffs at worst. You say he's the man at the helm of our club, but the money comes from Bin Salman. Yep, or PIF. Just up to your new channel, Tony says, Pete, nice one, Pete. And Mason looks like he's back off to watch the second of the crawl break. Got involved. That's what happened. It became a business. It certainly did. Tom only played €13 for his Dortmund ticket last season, and that got me free travel on a match day too.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's all money, money, money. Martin, you're talking my language now. Love WWE. The boxing is like a concert now. It is sad. I love WWE as well. They're on in Newcastle tonight. And people just saying, hello, on. I think more big businesses like Tesco should buy football clubs like Carabag and change the name to Carrier Bag. Oh, God's sake. Yes, big fan like Joel EW and TNA was never well. Miss them as well. We've been getting on with West Ham in recent years too. Yeah, but look what they've done. They voted against. I watched a little EW, but not TNA. It was only a matter of time before corporates will be involved in sport. Yeah, much better in recent years. And I think I just read that one from Tom. Think AEW could become bigger than WWE. I agree. That's a kick in the teeth. You don't want a government regulator. That will be a complete nightmare. Just look at the other regulators: Ofcom, Ofsted, Ofgem, all corrupt and bureaucrats. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know how not know how Vince has left and Paul has taken over IG Triple H. Yeah, it's a keg ready to blow while someone it's such a mess. Anything the government touches, it makes a mess of all. True in the company. Thomas Tuchel's had to be the England manager. Yes, it looks like that is going to happen.
Apparently, he's not starting until January, though.
All right.
So I think that's stupid because start him now. Give him next month's internationals because obviously Lee Carsley don't give a shit. So put him in charge.
He doesn't. Exactly.
Carsley said he wants to go back to the under-21s. I mean, why'd you say that after you've just been beaten off Greece?
Shouldn't be coming out and say that. Exactly. A lot of people don't like Tony Khan, like Gladadine. How? Nice one, man. Well spoken. Tuchel's a good manager, but he's German. We've had foreign managers managing England before. Yeah, I'm excited, but all that matters is that we play better than win. You need to win the lottery and remortgage your house to go to one of those games. Yeah, absolutely. Imagine how season tickets are going to cost. Absolutely. Don't even want to think about that, Julie. Oh, God, I dread. I was at City v Madrid last season and my ticket cost 65 quid.
Wow.
Even in Jordy's and Cole.
Elliot Anderson won the scorers for England tonight.
Oh, yes, I just seen that in the chat. Most of the fans of those clubs are anti-cartel and anti-Super League. They are. Not a bad point of view, but I can see a Super League happening. The fans pay the money and the English fans won't sell the souls of the clubs. Yeah, Stephen, it's just, you two for joy evening. All hope you well. Yes, I've walked into with Tony saying he hates Liverpool. Yep. Yeah. Tony's just said he's lost a lot of respect for these clubs now.
It's not the respect I've lost. What I've said is I hate them even more now. Mm-hmm. And like I say, let Liverpool fans, Man United fans, they can come and message me on Twitter or whatever. I don't care. I'm thick-skinned. At the end of the day, I don't care about their poxy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
It would make me laugh if their poxy clubs went to the wall. It really would. Because the way they've treated people in the Premier League is disgusting. And when you put it down, the fact is, when that was put on that email against the teams from the Gulf region, that is discrimination at the highest level. Now, the Premier League and Richard Masters are supposedly, it's all fair play, we don't have discrimination. Well, I'm sorry, Richard Masters, you clearly do have it because it's certainly there. It's written in black and white and it says the Gulf region. So why do you target one Pacific region? You know? And it's got a lot to do with these American owners. I'm telling you now, a lot of these American owners are having something to say here. And if you look at the rules that are going to be coming into next season, where you've got to pick one of the three, where it says, right, you can either have a dressing room cam, you can have a chat with the manager or the assistant manager at half time, or when a substitute player comes off, you can have an interview as well. That's all Americanized. We don't want that now.
No, we don't want that.
Why are we bringing it in? To satisfy the Americans.
Mm-hmm. I don't get it at all.
And let me tell you now, I've got a friend of mine's in France, and he's told me that it's on different various channels over there. How much the Premier League is being talked about, not for football, but for the wrong reasons. What they're saying over there apparently what they're saying over there is the only thing you ever see with going on with the Premier League is there's always too many legal challenges going on in the Premier League. And it said, how does that league function? And they said, it's a league that's putting a lot of top players off. And that's what's being said on Canal News.
Well, it is, yeah. Look at some
of the
players that have left the Premier League to go abroad now.
Michael Elise is one of them.
Michael Elise being one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be others going, I guarantee you now, there'll be others going in the summer. You watch.
I'll tell you what, I hope City smash. I hope City smash that 115 charges. because that'll stick it right up the Premier League.
It certainly would.
I
Wishful
hope
thinking the
well,
Premier League will find a way to keep Man United in the league. Yeah. Judge was mentioned the other year, and fans protested outside the grounds, and it was only a whisper. There'll be a point deduction for someone to help protect them. I'm glad to see the communist causes being replaced. City, Port Belly 81. The Spanish City boo the Champions League. Sorry, the Champions League music. Because they've been done over by UEFA. They've had so much hit by UEFA as well. Yep, I know the power, unfortunately, has been taken out of the fans' hands, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. 20 national anthems are outdated and shouldn't be played. I bet it was Daniel Levy.
Do you not think? Yeah, here's a question for everybody in the chat as well. Right, we have God Save the King, and I said God Save the Queen there, bless her soul. But right, so we play God Save the King. Scotland, it's a flower of Scotland, okay? Wales, they have their own land of my fathers and that. Now then, the God Save the King is a national anthem of the United Kingdom as a whole. That's Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England, right? Now then, we have a national anthem called The Land of Hope and Glory. Should we not be singing that instead, rather than the national anthem of the United Kingdom? Because technically, we're singing for the UK. We're not singing it as England. England is the land of hope and glory. That is the national anthem of England. Everybody else sings their own anthems, so why don't we?
That's a good point. That's not a bad Tony point. Tom says, Tony, it's not a national anthem, it's a royal anthem. I could take your point if it was about the country, but it's not. It's about an evil fictional character and an unelected head of state.
Again, Tom, exactly, mate. Again, Tom, that's what I'm saying. Why can't we have our own anthem, the land of hope and glory?
Yeah. Not too happy with Amanda Demir, Dad, working with Spurs right now. Is it officially true? I've not heard anything.
That as well, she not. I don't think Daniel Levy would take her to run the show. Daniel Levy is top of the show, top of the shop. And I do not think he's allowed to do it.
If it wasn't for all this, Amanda might still be here. Says Bia. I think Bia has got a great point there. It's because they're shitting their pants on what we could do. Well said, Paige. I've liked the stream, bro, says Henry. Cheers. I hope Morrison's get relegated. Totally agree with you. In the Animus documentary, Amanda was livid with Levy and his antics. Yes, she was. Tom Antonio, totally agree. Exactly, especially after what has just come out with, we know it was him that wrote the letter. Premier League still have to sign off all deals. They would simply delay. Yes, apparently we've still got delays that have not been approved yet. Or
yeah, but there's no loan now, is there? So we can just scrap them deals and go ourselves and get
go with it. Yeah. Amanda's
they can scrap it. They said they can scrap it now. It's not lawful, so the Premier League will have to do the deal now.
Because didn't they say for City that they had some deals there, and that the Premier League will now have to compensate City for the delaying of them deals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
See, we don't know what's going on in the background because we don't know what's going on in the background. But for all we know, our owners could be discussing a lawsuit against the Premier League for the last 3 years and loss of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know what's going on. That may be why we're maybe not flexing the muscles to get the sponsors in straight away, because they want to take a lawsuit against the Premier League. And if they do, I hope they do, because we need to start making a stand.
We do.
What does I say? The biggest stand that the fans can make, especially at St James's Park, is that every one of them teams that fought it against us, like say Man United's, like say Liverpool's, like say Brighton's, your Arsenal's, we have to make it an intimidating atmosphere for those teams, for those players. Yes, okay, people might say it's not the players' fault. It's to do with the owners. I don't care if it's to do with the owners. Make the team, because at the end of the day, that could work in our favour.
It could well do,
an atmosphere like that, because it'll lift our players as well.
Mm-hmm.
So make it an intimidating atmosphere for the visiting teams. Do the whistling, do the booing.
Yes.
And boo the Premier League anthem as well, and make a stand.
Yeah. Amanda is bankrupt. She can't direct or have any involvement for 3 years in any company. She's simply watching NFL game. Interesting. See, on a point of law, Tony Tesco done the same on Gated High Street. If we build a super store, destroy the indoor market on competitors allowed. Yeah, I remember that. Spot on, Tony, by the way. Tony, by the way, Paul Gallant is not invited to me heated indoor pool. God. The corruption starts from the top with the football governing bodies. I believe in wage. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, please. Yes, do. Please do hit the likes as well on both free channels as well. And please do subscribe as well, so we could, because it just helps. It helps, keeps us growing. England are power. Oh, 7-0 up. Wow.
Yeah,
they're doing well. It's a good game. It's a good game against Azerbaijan. Oh, it's Sefton's in the chat.
Yeah, that's
Big Seth.
2 for.
Oh,
Joy, I think.
It's 2 for Joy. That's Sefton. Hope you're keeping well, Sefton. Apparently, there's a couple of sponsors sat with the Premier League waiting for approval the past few months. Disgraceful. Do you think that's why Pep is the way he is when we play Man City, because we're similar with the crap with the Premier League? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Paige. The Premier League / Masters have tried to do this all on the sly, hoping to get away with it. Glad they've had their pants pulled down, and I think more of this will come to fruition, says Christopher. Yeah, Tuchel he's going to sign an 18-month contract according to Henry. Mama Flossie's in the chat. Mod on Jod's channel. Hope you're keeping well.
Big up, Mama.
The first thing Tuchel should do is apologise for his country's actions in the war. Oh, God.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Here's another legend. It's Mama. Apparently, it's finished now. Tuchel is a very good appointment for England. A nice man when people say the England manager should always be English. Look at the Lionesses. Also, by that logic, people would have Bruce over Pep, says Lawrence. Yep. Any 2 players playing? Lewis Hall, I think, was playing.
Yeah, he
Lewis
come on
Hall
as a
came
sub.
on. Just came on. Let's see, first team, don't tell him Grealish. Okay. Gotta love a Tony rant. Yeah, absolutely. Play for 20 minutes. Said Sefton says, I agree, Tony, but I'm married to a Liverpool fan. Great show, lads. Tony's the double. Oh, great show, lads. Apparently, according to you, Darren, Tony, you're the double of Larry Grayson.
Oh, no chance. No way.
Your Liverpool sponsor should have been ripped up years ago with
I
that.
look nothing like Larry Grayson.
BS made a good one. The Liverpool sponsor should have been ripped up years ago with that company has done breaking international laws in support of hostile regimes.
Good point. Thing is, though, right? The thing is, these teams that have signed up, like, act as witnesses for the Premier League, and Martin made the point earlier as well, and I was going to make this point anyway, but one of the teams in particular who signed up for this, Arsenal, right? Now, their stadium is the Emirates. On their shirts is Fly Emirates. Now, where does Fly Emirates come from? Oh yes, let's think. Oh, Dubai. Where's Dubai? Oh yeah, it's in the Gulf region. So why are Arsenal against the Gulf region when they've got multi-million-pound sponsorship money coming in from Emirates, for not only for that stadium but also on that shirt sponsor as well?
Yeah,
and yet they're against it all. That's hypocrisy at its best. And I'll tell you what it is. They're just hypocrites. That's exactly what they are. They're hypocrites.
They are.
And wasn't it a while back that the Arsenal fans wanted rid of the Cronkies?
Well, now it looks like the favourite. They're like the back on them now.
It just absolutely stinks to high heavens. And then they tried to charge Leicester for PSR issues. And the reason Leicester got that case won is because obviously Nick DeMarco,
one of the best people you could grab on board to help you to get.
But what was actually said was, when it went to the case, the arbitration or whatever it was, they had, Leicester City said, well, hang on a minute. We got relegated in May and we had to produce our accounts in June. And they said, but in June, we weren't a Premier League team. We were an AFL team because we weren't part of the Premier League. So how are we bound by these rules? And that's how they won the case. Because technically, they were not in a Premier League team. They were an AFL team.
They were.
And they were bound by the AFL rules, not by Premier League rules. So that's why they won that case, and Nick DeMarco won it for them.
Yeah,
on that technicality.
Darren says, "Shut that door, Tony."
Oh, God.
He's like a nice boy. I wish Americans go back home and leave our beautiful game alone. Michael Lilisi did not leave for Premier League corruption. He went for money. He could have done, but too much made you say because we went for him. I feel that he could have possibly wanted to possibly come for the project, but considering how it's been ran, he says, "Oh well, I could just go abroad." Hi, Richard Masters needs to go. Yep, it should be Land of Hope and Glory, says Joel.
Or Jerusalem, maybe.
Yeah, we should play Rock Am I by Elton John. Land of Hope, Glorious British. It's a bigger club than Palace, to be fair. Don't think he went for money. He didn't demand a transfer, but the price is correct, so he went. Good night to you all. Take care, Darren. Land of Hope and Glorious British too. Jerusalem will be an English album. Yep. Brian says, I finished a movie last year. The budget was 200 million, but went up to 480 million. Disney went to PIF for 50% because they invest. Daniel Levy is not the top of the shop. He's the front man for the American trader. Hey, we've got Stato in the chat. Hope you're keeping well. Land of Hope and Glory is not the anthem. It was sung at Rugby League, and many have campaigned it for it to be an anthem, but it just isn't, says Stato. Love what Amanda Mia did for us, but we need to move on from them. Unfortunately, yeah. That rugby song is an English chariot or something. Again, Stato is keeping as well. People just saying hello to him. Was Amanda can still be CEO. She can't be a director apparently. Oh well,
yeah.
And Alex says Ellie Anderson with a cracking goal tonight, pulling all the strings for England, should be a regular. Hopefully he's do well for his chance with England.
I mean, I'm going to say I know it's only Azerbaijan, though. That's the thing. That's the difference.
Again, it's his opportunity now for international football.
God, absolutely, yeah.
You should start.
You can only beat what's in front of you. That's the thing.
Ruffy's just come in the chat as well. Hope you're keeping well. So why do you speak so much sense? He just does that, Colton. I can't tell if John is frozen or if he just hasn't moved in a while. He's there. He's definitely
he's
Split of Larry seems like a nice boy, says Andrew. Two levels of support the Premier League and City's arbitration case. Some clubs only sent in the letter supporting the ADT rules. Some took it out to next level by acting as witnesses. Yep, absolutely. And apparently, Liverpool sponsors have apparently been found to be involved with organizations involved with modern slavery. That is so wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely so wrong. Tony is Steve Pemberton, man, not Larry Grayson. Peter is Terry Wogan.
Oh, God.
Clubs have that sponsor, Fly Emirates. Yeah, they do actually. Who else has Fly Emirates on their shirts?
PSG.
Yes.
AC Milan.
AC Milan, yeah. I was just going to say AC Milan, John.
AC Milan. And also Benfica.
Yes, Benfica do, yeah.
Does Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Madrid, I'm pretty sure they do.
The thing is, though, going back to what I said earlier on about signing off these deals and that, the Premier League needs to do it very, very quickly now because we sue them. The Saudi will sue the Premier League. And I tell you what, the Premier League will not fancy this at all whatsoever.
It's okay for us, but not for they. It was Newcastle they were bothered about. No, the Gulf region, yeah. And Panny Man, you've renewed their 200 million deal with Saudi Telecom.
Ooh.
Just signed an 18-month contract. Tony, we knew this from the start that they did not want another chair at the table. None of it surprising now. I said they don't want the Premier League Americanized more. Remember, Bowley wanted something like a North Face South League, a big no. Exactly. England doesn't have an official anthem. My personalized choice, I'd vote to theme my country. Says Andrew. Honestly, just scrap the Premier League. Records have been cut off when we lost over 100 years of history and ridiculous FFP and PSR rules to have a parasitic and controlling top six cartel. Well said.
Well said, Mike.
I'm not going to read the whole of the name out. Pete would make a great. You can get lost with that, Brian. Saying I would make a great Bruce Forsyth. Red Cartel against Gold Money coming in, but forget all that. When off loan there has been players to Saudi. Yeah. Real Madrid as well. Yeah. Real Madrid, AC Milan, PSG, and Benfica. Coincidentally, three clubs I remember seeing it in St James's Park. Yeah.
good point Cynical Jim makes there. Yes, the likes of Man United, Liverpool, they're against the Saudi money, but they're happy to get rid of their players to Saudi and get money in, aren't they? So,
they are.
You can't have it always. You can't always have your cake and eat it. So, it's at the end of the day, he's absolutely right. Yeah.
Totally.
They're not worried about taking the money.
Good point, Jim. Remember Real Madrid and AC Milan being sponsors by Bewin? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be not. I agree, Mama. Daily clubs. Now Peter is Tony Mio. But is it Newcastle owned by Saudis? Well, PIF.
Yep.
They're the majority shareholder, and the Reuben brothers are. They have 14% on this. Yeah. So. But look, the thing is, we should, when we were taken over, or when any club's taken over, by the way, not just us, I'm saying, but any club that is taken over, what there should be is, there should be a new start. So when a club is taken over, any FFP or whatever in the past has been there, that's all scrapped. It starts from a clean slate. Mm-hmm. So you start from scratch. You're not carrying on from the accounts from that year before. You start as a new, fresh thing.
Yep.
That's how it should be. But it was never brought in like that.
Yeah.
And look, the PSR in this country needs to be sorted out because that is just an absolute shambles, the PSR. Let's be honest.
Just needs.
I mean, do you know what it is as well? You look at big sponsors, right? We don't have to go to Saudi for big sponsors. Now, can you imagine this as a sponsor coming in? How would the Premier League react to this? Because I tell you what, these are massive, massive players in the world, let's be honest. They sponsor a lot of huge events as well, don't forget. Now then, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but can you imagine if someone like DP World said, oh, can we sponsor you?
Mm-hmm.
Can we sponsor your stadium? Can you imagine the faces in the Premier League?
Oh, yeah,
Cartel
exactly.
Clubs and Richard Masters. They would hate that because DP World are huge. Let's be honest. They do cricket, World Cups, they do dart tournaments, so they're huge players, DP World. Mm-hmm. We know Salah are big in Saudi for, like, obviously putting on the events for the boxing. When you see a lot of this boxing, it's all done by Salah. It's great to see our sponsor out there, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, absolutely. But, I'm not saying DP World are going to come and sponsor us by any chance, but I'm just saying, though, can you imagine if that comes in?
Oh.
How much shit that would cause amongst them? How much that would put the cat amongst the pigeons?
Totally, Tony. Absolutely.
What about you, John? What would you think if DP will come in?
Oh man, I think Masters better run a mile. Do you know what I mean? You would know where to start. And I tell you what, right? It's all about the money. And if that comes in, woo, we can spend what we want, and our clubs can do as well. Do you know what I mean? But for us, it's just like I said. I mean, we got to run back. Our time will come, and the Premier League can't do anything about it, man.
Thing is,
that makes sense. Sorry.
Yeah, like Ruffy had said there, PSR was brought in over Portsmouth going bust. One of the reasons the shareholder loans being called back by the owners and Portsmouth couldn't pay it back. Thing is, right? But when you've got an ownership, what we've got, and PIF have their fingers in a lot of pies, let's be honest. They've got, they're involved with BT, Disney. Look,
yeah, they are.
The list goes on. There's loads and loads, right? There is loads of companies they're dealing with, right? And the thing is, can you imagine, right? So, can you imagine PIF going bust? Not a chance.
No, definitely not.
When you've got like PIF, who've got so much money.
Yep.
Why should PSR be a problem for us? And like I'll go back to what Darren Bent said last year. What he said is when an ownership takes over, what the Premier League should do, instead of having your PSR, you pay a bond. So you pay a certain amount of money. They might say, they might say put 10% of what you've got in money wise. So say for instance, PIF, say the Premier League say, right, you have to put down £1 billion bond. So if the club ever goes under, that £1 billion is used to have the running costs of the club, pay the players until a new buyer is found, right?
That's it, Tony, yep.
Now PIF would say, there you go, £1 billion, no problem. We don't mind giving you that because we know we're not going bust. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They're not going bust ever. You know? And when you've got teams coming from the Championship, so you go back last season, Luton Town, Sheffield United, and who was Burnley, right? They all come up. Now, Luton spent a little bit of money and brought Ross Barkley on a free.
Yeah,
because these clubs were frightened to spend too much money in case
they did it their own way. They had to do it their own way.
Yeah, but they went back down straight away because they didn't want to spend too much money and they didn't want to get into trouble with the PSR. And this is where I'm saying, is the Premier League so anti-competitive? Because, as I say, teams are frightened to spend too much money when they come up. And that's wrong because the teams that come up, they should have a chance to stay in the Premier League. I mean, Luton were unlucky because they could have stayed up.
They could have done. They tried their best to stay up the ball they could.
You know, they took 4 points off us out of 6, and we'll not mention that too much. But look, the thing is, what I'm saying is, teams are wanting to come up and stay up in the Premier League because they know it's lucrative and they know they can make the money. But if you haven't got the funds to stay up, well, you've got the funds to stay up, but you don't want to spend too much because you're frightened in case you get bound over by PSR. It's just so wrong, and it just needs something needs to give, something needs to change.
It does, Tony? It really does. Definitely agree, Tony. Apparently, Scotland and Portugal have played a 0-0 draw. And Fenway have agreed multi-million deal with PIF over golf in USA. Interesting. Oh, we got a Phil Foden in the chat as well. Big up to Newcastle for backing us in the call. Scotland must be on steroids. Richard Masters looks clueless from the reports. He's absolutely crapping his pants, and I won't be surprised if they're all covered in brown marks already.
Skid marks.
Scotland mighty Portugal 0. Absolutely. Apparently, Ronaldo's PSR was bought over Portsmouth going bust. One of the reasons why shareholders being called back in by one of the owners, and Portsmouth couldn't pay it back or get commercial loans. Sellers just built a Ronnie O'Sullivan State of the Art Stuttgart Academy in Saudi. Cheers so much, Sefton. Really, really appreciate that. John loves DP. Seller might have something about DP Will coming in on the direct competitors.
Oh yes, they are. Yeah. No, I was just saying it as in just saying as in if a sponsor coming from a different country in the Gulf region or somebody rich.
PIF owned 5% of Nintendo. Phil says, "Can we have Bruno G, please?"
No.
If you give us Erling Haaland, that'll be fine. The love of money is the root of all evil. Greed. Owners will spend if it benefits from them big time. Absolutely, totally. It's like another pod, John. The Premier League didn't want our takeover.
No, they delayed it and delayed it and delayed it until they caved in. Basically,
exactly.
I think it's down to piracy as well, apparently. That's what Simon...
They said it was all done, but that got all resolved, finally.
It got resolved, and then...
Because apparently Premier League had a certain Richard Keys on board then.
Yes.
Or Richard Keys supporting him.
Yes, for Bein Sports as well. And because as from Dubai as well, or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, right, one thing I'm going to say, right, we've got to take over. And then all the clubs complained and said that, oh, we got to do something about this. We got to do something about this and stop Newcastle spending. And now the Premier League, listen to them and put a stop to our spending. But it's FFP.
That's when we got. That's why we had to fetch a Nick DeMarco as well.
Yep.
They'll get it pushed through. One of the best people you want to bring in to help you if you've got a court case coming up.
Yeah, and you know what? One of these days, Pete, I mean, this PSR FFP needs to be scrapped because I tell you now, it is killing competition. And if you kill competition, then I'm afraid to say the Premier League will not be the same. Let's put it this way. The Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga. If, say, for example, right, say Sassuolo got promoted next season or Juve Stabia got promoted next season, and Juve Stabia, by the way, they're Southern Italian team, yeah, doing well at the minute, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. Pisa, for example, under people like Zaghi, they got promoted, and Pisa got a billionaire takeover, right? Billions of quid. One of the richest clubs in Serie A. Then Milan, Inter, the Roman giants, German giants, ain't going to come in and say, look, we got to stop Pisa for spending all this money because they're going to kill it. No, it doesn't work like that.
No,
but
it doesn't.
Premier League, that tells me Richard Masters, right, he's got a problem with Newcastle United. Let's be real. And I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be a tweak. According to Craig, Alan said about Craig Hope saying that it's going to be...
Oh, he's just doom. People, what you call Mr. Doom and Gloom at the moment.
Look, listen, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, I mean, you love him or hate him, right? I mean, yeah, he's got a job to do. We get that. You believe in Cole. If you don't, you don't. Do you know what I mean? For me, I just... what did he call it? Like, what did he say? Love it or leave it, or what do you want to call it, sort of, you know, take it or leave it with this guy. But at the end of the day, right, we've got to get our competition back because the Premier League isn't a competition. It's not a competition. It's all Man City. Okay, sorry, Martin, but it's not your fault. But Man City's going to win the title, yeah. Arsenal, they're going to stay there. Liverpool's going to be thereabouts, yeah? It's going to have fourth place. I truly believe it's going to be Chelsea. Chelsea get that fourth spot. I think they're playing really well.
Yeah, they're doing.
Thing is, what Alan's saying there is that the sponsors, that it's not going to change because it's only a tweaking of the rule. It's not a tweaking of the rule. And he's saying that's what Craig Hope's saying. But the thing is, so Simon Cliff from Man City has said the rules aren't lawful. They are not. They're void. They're null and void. That's what they are.
Yep.
So Craig Hope can say what the hell he likes. I'm getting sick of Craig Hope. I think, you know, to be honest with you, Craig Hope just likes to just spread doom and gloom, and people are just sick of him. And fans are getting sick of Craig Hope. I think if he goes and why doesn't he go and see if he can have an interview with Simon Cliff and sit down with him and ask him and say to Simon Cliff, well, the rules are only going to have to be tweaked. That's all. There's no change. I'm sure Simon Cliff will turn around and tell him something totally different. But, you know, I would just take what Craig Hope says with a pinch of salt. Let's be honest.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't fan of him right now.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you know, it's just... I mean, when you go, like John says, you know, the one about the piracy for the takeover and all this. But if you go back to that cat case, in that cat case, a lot came out. And Robert Jowl, who was acting for Ashley's company, and he's one of the top. In fact, he's the second best in the country on anti-competitive law. And I think the Premier League picked a fight with the wrong bloke there because even their barrister that day didn't have an answer to say to him after that. But when he come out with, the fact was that the Premier League 6 months before this cat case wanted to kick us out of the Premier League for no reason, just because we wanted this takeover. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about the Premier League? There's corruption running through it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean...
If you cut the Premier League open, you'll see corruption running right through it.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
It's like another person who did want the takeover when he was still in the Premier League at the time was Gary Hoffman.
Yes, and yet he's the guy in charge of Monzo Bank who was in trouble at the time, you know. But did you notice once the takeover went through, he left?
Yes,
because he's failed. He failed in his job to stop the takeover. That's why.
Yes,
that's why he was brought in. He was brought in to stop the takeover. And that cat case, as I say, there was a lot of stuff come out in there And I think the amount of stuff that was come out, and when the guy said at the end, the judge, he says, right, okay, we'll come back if we've got a case to bring back to court. Because that was just a hearing, it wasn't an actual case. He was going back to make his judgment. Now, I think he's went back, and I think he said, yes, this is ready for a full case. And I think the Premier League have shit themselves, quite literally. And, you know, so I think what's happened is they've turned around and said, oh, hang on, we can't stop this takeover because if this goes to court, look at all the stuff that's going to, look at all the evidence that they're going to bring out. There's going to be more and more evidence coming out. And so at the end of the day, I think that's why it went through. I mean, yes, okay, the Saudi state paid beIN Sports a compensation because they were using BQ Outbox or whatever they were in Saudi Arabia. But I don't think it was all down to the piracy. I think it was down to the fact there was a lot of evidence ready to come out in that cat case, in the Premier League were like, oh, we can't have this in public. And they didn't like the fact it was taken to an actual court. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's never been. And do you know, that was actually the most watched cat case ever on YouTube, because people around the world were tuning into it as well. Yeah. But that guy from the Premier League just mumbled on for me, and I just thought, you haven't got a clue, mate. You haven't got a clue. Exactly. And as soon as our barrister started talking, he just sort of like, was like, yeah, he didn't know what to say to it. Yeah, absolutely. But look, you got to say all this is down to Keith Patterson, because he actually convinced, because he met up with like he said, Keith Patterson said many a time, he said he went and seen Justin Barnes, obviously Ashley's sidekick, and said, look, if you take this to a cat case, you'll get your takeover. And he went back to convince Ashley, and Ashley said, right, okay, let's do it then. And the rest is history, as I say. So, because I reckon if it gone to that arbitration in January 22, we wouldn't have known what was happening, and would we have gotten it? That's the thing, because it's a majority of 2-1, isn't it? So you've got it's all, and that's what I don't like about these arbitrations. Why they got to be behind closed doors? Why can't they be made public? Yeah, I think it should be transparency, it should be freedom of information. Totally, that's what I say. Absolutely, yeah, Tony. If you don't want to disclose decisions, that means you've got something to hide. If you've got nothing to hide, get out there in public then. But there you are. Something to hide, you're going to keep it behind closed doors. Absolutely. Jim, the reason Richard Masters keeps putting weight on it because he keeps stuffing them brown envelopes up his arse. Exactly. Hairy Hands cases always hit the tune not long before the takeover. For some reason, I couldn't stand Richard Keys anymore. I don't know how that guy still gets a job and is still getting a job in sports media, particularly why he got sacked from Sky along with Andy Gray at the time. Good. Which was absolutely the time the time he had a go at us fans after Rafa Benitez left the club. I mean, that was one of the worst days I felt ever, to be honest. Is there not a meeting tomorrow of all the clubs after this court case? No, apparently not now. It's not happening now tomorrow. It is. Oh, when is it? I did see it somewhere. So where was it? Where is it? Yeah, it's been reported that the emergency Premier League summit over the Manchester City case has now been ditched. So the quick fix wasn't quite a quick fix, was it, Dicky Masters? Something else you got wrong, Mr. Arrogant. He is really as useful as a handbrake on a canoe. So this is... So it turns out that Manchester City were correct in their letter to the other Premier League clubs less than 24 hours after the original information was reported around the APT rulings. But no, it's not happening anymore.
getting sick of Craig Hope. He's writing for clicks, not real stories. Craig Hope is a stuck-up puppet who works for a newspaper. I think he likes to bring up topics that aren't relevant just to stir up the pot. The only time I'm going off Craig Hope. The only best thing I've probably got out of Craig Hope was the time he exposed when he reported that story about when Steve Bruce and Matt Ridgey had a bust up, and it all came out in public to find out what was really going on happening behind the club at the scenes.
Yeah.
The delay now would take over, give the Premier League time to think of and implement some of these insane financial rules. They were willing to let PIF buy us as long as they could stall us, which they did. There you are.
Northern Ireland won 5-0 tonight against Bulgaria.
Oh, well. It's the benchmarking rules that are the issue. Without them, Premier League cannot determine what fair market value is, so rules cannot be applied. A club cannot challenge, plus see the data used, which rules were unlawful. And Tom says, no, Tony, they didn't literally shit themselves. They figuratively shit themselves. Literally would mean that they actually did soil themselves, says Tom.
Well said, Tom.
We'll be interested to see what is discussed in the meeting in 2 days' time. Well, the meeting's off now, isn't it?
Yep, because they can't do nothing.
It's been ditched. We should find out soon as they could be sued if they are illegally stopping sponsors. All this over a simple game of football. And yeah, Tony was the man who got this takeover done. Was Keith Patterson? Yep.
Yeah.
I've been banging on about the powers to be. Well, before the takeover, it's a corporate situation. The meeting has been cancelled till next week. Matches has dropped his arse on the meeting because he knows he's skating on thin ice. What do you think of the sacking of Fergie? I'm shocked as a Geordie. What do you think, lads? John in particular, that Redcliffe is going to kill Man U.
Well, I tell you what, no. I mean, it's like watching Mike Ashley try to sack Kevin Keegan all those years ago. Do you know what I mean? Try to force Keegan out of the club. That's exactly what's happened. I think Jim Ratcliffe, for me, right? He's not having a good start, is he, man? He's not kicking out Tom Fergie, right? And I'm just absolutely, well, for me, we know Ferguson. You know what he's like. In his history of being a manager. For me, the best manager, and this is going to upset a lot of people. The best manager. He's the best manager in the Premier League's history. Look at what he's won. Whether you like him or not, you got to respect the guy. Yeah, he's won everything in the book, right? And the way that Ratcliffe kicked him in the touch is absolutely shocking. I don't care. Shocking.
You don't do that to your legend.
Never. You just don't. You just don't do that, Tony. You just don't. I mean, look, joking aside, I know Mason's going to say, I'm sick of that. Listen, right? At the end of the day, you don't do that. And I'll tell you what, fans will be really peeved off for that. There's ways of doing it. Let the guy go quietly. If he wants to move on, let him move on. But don't kick him out like that. Howie. Yeah,
Newcastle should sue the Premier League. Absolutely, we should. Was there ever a vote on interest-free loans? But there was on transfer loans in the Saudi Arabia market. There was. Apparently, the legal and commercial teams of the Premier League were going to have meetings before the club meeting. Have had their meetings cancelled as well. Hey.
What's that, Pete? Sorry, go back, man.
That's what Ruffy's just put in there. Their meetings. Apparently, the legal. There you are. I can't believe they were paying Fergie $2 million a year. That's more than most Championship players get paid. I hate Man U, but you're correct, John. Fergie, best manager in the Premier League history. Yes, I'm a jock and agree. So shocking.
Crazy, isn't it?
Absolutely. It doesn't look like Jason might be joining us now. I think he's been having technical issues.
Yeah, with his broadband, yeah.
Never mind. But it's been a cracking show tonight. It really, really has. So, yeah. Richard Masters and your beloved puppet boys and whoever else got around you. It's time you get out the Premier League and let someone take over it that can get it back to what it should be and how it should be ran.
What I say to Richard Masters is, this is exactly what I say to Richard Masters. Your lease is up, pal. It's time to go. And let's just be honest. This is nature's way of saying, get your ass down that road and don't fucking come back.
And what's your words for him and his puppets as well?
What for the lot of them?
What's your word for him, John?
So, Richard just said, look, Richard, you had your time, mate. You're out of your depth, right? If you don't want to make this league competitive, then the best thing you can just go and get someone else who's going to make this Premier League exciting. At the minute, it's not the best league in the world. It's not excitable league in the world, right? They only look after the big four, big five, whatever you want to call it, big six. That's it. And we need someone who's going to come in that cares. So for you, Richard Masters, I'll go say to you, you're done. Off you pop. Yous are not wanted anymore. Just get out because this league is too big for these.
Yeah, well
Thing
said.
is, and while we've got everybody on tonight, viewers as well from all the channels. Right, now I said this in my video Saturday, and I'll repeat this again now. What if everybody wants a little bit of homework? Here we go. Right, okay. So what we really need to be doing is, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever platform you're on, it would be great if you could post a picture of Masters, hashtag Masters out, and tag the Premier League in it. Because the more we put that out there, the more people that go on social, the thousands and millions of people that go on social media, if we all go out there, all stick a picture on, hashtag Masters out, tag the Premier League in it, the more we do it, the more other people pick up on it, then their friends will pick up on it, and eventually it'll get so big.
Yeah.
And that Masters will have nowhere to go, and it would put the pressure on. So that's what I'm saying. So if everybody doesn't mind, if you're on social media, please do so. Please get out there, stick a photo on, hashtag Masters out, and tag the Premier League in it. If you don't mind, thank you guys, because I've done it and I'm going to do it again tonight as well. And I hope John follow my lead as well.
Oh, and yeah, why not? Some disappointing news. Gateshead have crashed out the FA Cup.
Wow.
That's there.
To Hednesford in the replay. 3-1 the game finished.
Wow. That ain't good.
So Gateshead have unfortunately exited that tournament.
Maybe it's suppressing so they can concentrate on the league.
Maybe. Screw Manu, they have to suck up before Manu gets 160 charges. Dicky on the dole, says Tom.
Tricky Dicky.
Taggy says, Richard Masters, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Robson had Figgy tied up in knots. He was 20 points in front of the Manu crying like girls. Did you see the goal Minty scored in a repeat, please, on Saturday? Bye, guys. Goodbye, Masters. You're a toss spot against Spurs. My wish for Masters would have been, fuck up, you've corrupt racist bastard, just to turn up and watch. I'm older than you, Tony. Give instructions, lol, says Scott. Anyway, guys, so that is it for tonight. We are going to wrap up. That's it so far. We haven't got a show plan for tomorrow, but it could change. But if we don't have one for tomorrow, I will be back. Well, myself and Mason will be back on Thursday for our match preview against Brighton. The Premier League will be back. It'll be our match preview, and Friday will be the crazy show. Saturday, me and Mason, I'll be at the game. So there'll be quick thoughts after the game, fan reactions, and either match review and play ratings on the same night or the next day. So we'll be notified on that as well. Tony, what we got coming up on It's All Black and White TV?
I'll probably have a Brighton preview coming up, and obviously the pre-match on Saturday as well. So do keep an eye out for that one. On It's All Black and White TV. Yeah, absolutely. And in case anybody's just come into the chat, I have set up another channel as well. It's called the Footy Channel, which is already in the chat. So if you have, basically, why I've set up a second channel is it's to do with stuff that's not Newcastle United related. So, i.e., like England previews, pre-matches for England, things like that will be done on that channel. And also when Newcastle are playing on a Saturday, and I go off to it, see maybe coaching on league or a League 2 game or whatever, and I do a vlog, I'll upload them onto there as well. And because obviously it's all black and white TV, is all to do with Newcastle. So the footy channel is just a new channel. Thanks to people who have subscribed so far, and I'm hoping that one will grow as well. But so because I just want to keep it's all black and white TV at basically a pure Newcastle channel, which is what it is, because I don't want to be bringing other things onto it as well. So as I say, on the other channel, it'll be all England stuff and vlogs from other matches, so that wherever I've gone to go and watch. Because I took non-league games Saturday, and
yes, you did.
Let's be honest, that was absolutely brilliant.
I can imagine it was
£11 for a ticket, and you know what?
Bury Town.
Yes, where Nick Pope played, and they're top of the league. So if they get promoted, they'll go to the Isthmian League Premier, which is one step away from the National League.
There you go.
And the manager for there, John will know, because the manager used to play for Bristol City, John.
Who's that?
Cole Scholes.
Yes.
Cole Scholes. Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah. Yes. Played in midfield.
He's manager.
Midfield.
Yeah, he's 38 now. He's manager of Bury.
He's doing well, apparently. So, yeah.
He got manager of the month, yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And John, what we got coming up on yours, John Sinclair TV?
Thanks, guys. I was on the game, Peter, as always. I've got nothing planned, but I'm busy. I really am busy, sorting out a few things. So I'm going to have a review backstage like that in a minute. So just to remind you guys again, and I've got some exciting projects coming up very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I mean, and like I said, I will say next Wednesday, I'll be off to Madrid to watch Atletico Madrid against Lille in the Champions League. I'll do my English fan experience over there. And I'll do Madrid vlog as well, of course. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And and what I'll do, I've got, like I said, a special show. I'll probably announce that next week. And it's not on the live show or anything like that, but just going to let you know on that one.
No,
so
John. Got
nothing planned in it.
So Tony's channel, it's all black and white TV. John's channel, John Sinclair TV. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. So we'll just rattle through the show, guys. Great show tonight, everyone. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Cheers so much, Lee. Great show, lads. I've made us in. Take care, Sefton. Carry show tonight. Cheers, Tom. Great show, Pete and Tony. John, as usual. Have a good time in John.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. Thank you.
So there we are. Now, everyone, take care. You as well, Paige. Carry that, lads. Cheers, Andrew. Arrivederci. So, yeah. Remember, guys, if you have enjoyed tonight, do remember to give us a thumbs up. It's really important we get the likes so people know where to find us in the YouTube search results. So please do remember to smash the likes. Please, of course, if you're brand new to the channel, if you're not yet subscribed and you enjoy what goes on the channel week in, week out, hit that subscribe button, free to do so, and it does help make the channel grow. Help us get to 2,300 subscribers as soon as we can. We are on our way to getting there. Your support is always appreciated. And please do remember that this is also being screen shared to Tony's channel. It's all black and white TV. And, of course, John Sinclair TV. So please do drop them a subscription if you haven't already done so as well. And, of course, hit the bell notification. It does let you know whenever a live show is taking place or a pre-recorded video has been uploaded as well. So make sure you do hit the bell to make sure you do not miss anything at all coming on this channel at all. If you want to give a donation, feel free to do so. If you want to become a member, it's 99p a month. Hit the join button. If you are a member of the channel, you are put into the prize draw we do as well. So you are. So as I mentioned, next shows so far planned. Again, we're not sure if we'll be back tomorrow, but if not, we are not back tomorrow. It will be Thursday night for match preview against Brighton on Saturday. So until then, everyone, we will see you all later. Take care, everyone. Good night all from all of us. See you later, everyone. Take care. Richard Masters, it's time to go. Good night, everyone. Take care.
You too, Pete Tully.